Hello, good morning. This is Reverend Simon Asemata of Me and You Christian Relationship Foundation. What a joy to be alive. I'm excited I'm alive today and to give God thanks for the great thing He has done. Well, this is family life, and when we come together like this on a weekend like this, we talked about family life. It's so important that the things we do, the life we live, affect not only just our immediate family, even to the community where we live. It's a joy to be alive. I'm so excited this morning. I'm with my wonderful, beautiful guests in the studio this morning, and we're going to be discussing the peer pressure, how to handle peer pressure. We'll be looking at things that parents could do that could help their children to succeed in life. We talked about so many things when it was me and my helper in the studio. But with me today, I'm with two beautiful dancers here to discuss with me how to handle peer pressure. On my left, I have with me Mrs. Joy Idu, a wonderful girl, and she's here and she'll be discussing with me on how to handle peer pressure. You are welcome.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Now, on my right, I have with me a wonderful girl, so exciting to be with her in the studio. Her name is Esther. Esther, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Okay. Now, we are going to be talking about peer pressure. As parents, the reason why God gave us the opportunity to raise children is because we were once children. Experience give us the stand to be able to encourage our children and say, this is how we go. And many times, the reason why is very important when we talk from experience, and it's good as parents that we should let our children know our weaknesses, our failures, and the things that happen to us, so that when it's happening to them, they won't count it strange. It's so important that parenting is one of the strong things that God left for us as children of God, and as parents, we should do it with joy. But I believe our children want to know, how do they handle our pressure? Because there's nothing new on that planet Earth. Well, I want Joy to introduce herself, then tell us, Joy, what do you do for a living? Where are you coming from? What's your foundation?
Thank you, sir. My name is Joy, as you said earlier, and I'm a graduate of Christian International Studies.
Okay.
Well, peer pressure is just about your peers, your age group, how they affected you. Because most of the time, people say that, okay, it's who you follow, that's who you're going to become. So most people, they have this tendency of falling to peer pressure, especially teenagers, especially in secondary school. Like me, I know that I definitely fell into that position, because when I was in secondary school, I was being laughed, I was being mocked, and how I was like, okay, I'm bad and all this stuff. But I didn't allow it to affect me, because one or the other, it actually affected me, but I didn't allow it to affect me. So peer pressure also affects your thinking, your mindset, but you should know who you are, to know that, okay, yes, like I have to stand out, I have to be different from your background. So you have to have a good background.
And when you talk about background, what do you mean by background?
Like in Christianity now,
Okay.
Your Christian home, you know where you came from, your parents must be Christians, you must have God by your side. You can't solve this issue without having God by your side. So you have to, every day, you have to grow up in spiritual realm, physical and emotional. You have to learn things, have people by your side to like encourage you.
Now, what was the thing that helped you when you were going through those challenges when you talk about secondary school?
Yeah.
Because I think it starts from, as long as you mix up with other children,
Yes.
the pressure will come.
Yes.
What gave you what was kind of foundation? You said you have to come. You are a Christian. Your parents are Christian.
Yes.
Yeah, but there are so many children. Their parents are Christian. They still fail because that's why it's called peer pressure. The Bible says evil communication does corrupt good manner. So the Bible lay that foundation, good manner. That means this child from a good home, he had good manner, but because there is a strong force, evil, that comes that overcame that good manner. How were you able to say through primary, secondary, university, and today you are a graduate history and international studies, and you are doing your NYSC, and yet this pressure we're talking about? There are parental pressure. We are not talking about peer pressure. There are life pressure. Life pressure is when you begin to think that others are making it and you think you've not made it. I don't even know what is the definition of making it, but I don't want to go there. Now we are talking about this. What gave you that foundation to be able to say it?
I became, I have to like, it's okay, fine, I have to be disciplined. Because when I was going to school, my dad always sit me down and say, you meet a lot of people.
Okay, that always tell you
Yes,
that,
he tells
okay?
me, he says that you meet different people, different beliefs, different backgrounds, but you should know where you're coming from. So you, by yourself, you have to like be disciplined, you have everybody have a focus in this life. If you don't have a focus, you guys easily wait away. So parents always make you to do things that you don't want to do. But one, I had to be disciplined, I had to plan, I had to think what to always do. Then secondly, I had to have somebody by my side who was already ready to encourage me in case I knew I'm really fighting. Like there's one thing that happened in school. I knew I was going to I was going to follow that road, I was going to fall down. But one of my friends, she was actually very intelligent. That's why I was following her in the first place. But I knew that she wasn't good for me. I knew that she would definitely bring me down because one way or the people say that okay, fine, you're following her because she's intelligent, but doesn't mean it affects you one way or the other. So I had to like distance myself from her, even though it pained me because I actually liked the girl, but she didn't have this character I was seeing. So you have to, if you want to do all this kind of stuff, you have to like have a good belief with your friends. You have to have one mindset to follow them, the plan, discipline, and all the rest. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have a nice time. This is Me and You Christian Relationship Foundation with Reverend Semota Family Man is helper. But today I have other helpers in the studio, wonderful dancers, girls that are focused, that I call them women of destiny. We are on my right. We have Esther. Esther, can you please introduce yourself? And we're talking about peer pressure. How have you gone through secondary school? Now you are doing your. No, just introduce yourself. I think that would be okay.
My name is Asamata Esther. I'm a student of Achievers University. I'm studying medical laboratory science. Peer pressure is almost like a very common thing now in our society. That is like one of the major problems everybody is having, like youths of our time now. But I feel like there's something called you have your own free will to do whatever you want to do. You cannot say this person pushed me to do what I don't want to do, but you actually concord to the decision that both of you made together, and you went ahead to do it. So I feel like if you have your own you have your own free will, nobody can make you do what you don't want to do. The pressure is there, normal, the pressure will be there. I'm a university student, so I see a lot. I'm under pressure every day. My friend is using the latest phones, taking pictures and everything, and they'll be asking, when are you going to get your own? And I'll be like, do you want me to steal the money to buy it? Where do you you know how you're getting your money. Me, that my parents are helping me, I'm not helping myself. So you can't expect me to have, so I don't even expect you to have some things at your age. Because I know from my friends who are really close, and when we talk, I'll be like, okay, this thing you are having, you're not even supposed to have it now. It's not now, because I know that your parents won't give it to you because they know that you don't need it, but you are using it and you're telling me how you're getting it, and it's not like the right way that you're getting it. So you now want me to follow you into doing what you want to do, and then at the end my life may be the one getting destroyed, and you may be okay at the end. You don't know what the end is going to be. So if you have your own free will, nobody can make you do what you don't want to do. And if you know what you want, like as Joy said, if you are focused and you know that okay, I'm here for this particular thing, nothing should sway me from going the wrong way. It's just like me now, I'm studying MLS and my friend is doing microbiology, and I'll be like, my friend didn't, let me just follow her and do the microbiology because she's my friend. And maybe you are being pressured. Okay, my course is not an easy course. It's really, I won't say it's hard, but it's like it pushes you to go extra mile to read and to know some things. So if I see that my friend's course is easier than my own, and I'm like, this my friend, she's not having issue with her course, let me just follow her and do the course, I will not be happy because it's not what I want to originally do before. So there are a lot of pressures to dress, pressure to look good, wear the latest clothes, show your body and all that. But if you have the Spirit of God in you, and if you have a relationship with God and you know that this is not what God will want me to do, you won't do it. And if you have parents that can guide you to the right path, like some parents now, they don't really care about how their children dress or behave or whatever. They just feel like, oh, this child, I should just allow the child to do whatever he wants to do, not thinking of what the repercussion may be later. But if you are from a Christian background, you have parents that advise you on a daily basis on what to do and how to behave as a child of God. And if you keep studying your Bible, you read what God says you should do and what you should not do, and I feel like you should be able to overcome peer pressure. And if you move with people that have the same mindset as you have, then that peer pressure should not be a problem for you.
Okay, now we're looking at this thing. You talk about pressure to dress and all of those stuff. There's something that I believe that if you're listening to us, this is Reverend Simon and Samantha on Christian Relationship Foundation. We are looking at peer pressure, and I happen to have two wonderful, beautiful young ladies with me in the studio today. One of them is still in school by the grace of God. Is a 400 level, and Joy is a very intelligent lady on that the history and international studies, and she have an international mind to look at things from international perspective. I'm happy to have her in the studio. But what we are looking at is that we are looking at the foundation. Now, Joy, I want to ask you. Now, you said Daddy said. How were you able to go in with those things, even while you are under pressure with so many things? How were you able to? What gives you? Were you reminding yourself of what your parents said, and you know that that is the right way? You trusted them that that's what they told you is the right way. Now, I haven't gone through university. Now, you're not doing YFC. If you look back, what would you say have helped you so far?
I think it has to, thank you, sir, but I think it has to do with my training. You know, when you say train up a child in where you should go and when you develop fast training, constant training, constant learning, constant listening to your parents, it's always inside you, like it never goes from small. So my parents always tell me this is what you're supposed to do, you're different, keep on telling you. So when you come outside to all these things now, you see things that you want to do, but inside of you, you keep reminding, this is what my parents always say, even if you're at the spot of doing the wrong thing. So, no, this is not right. I don't want to embarrass my parents. I don't want to bring shame to them. So I want to always be different. I want to make them proud. Because your parents have been actually good to you, they've laid the foundation for you, just for you to just follow that footstep and go to be better. So I feel that what actually helped me because of what they always say. So I'm always like reminding myself. So when you say, okay, try and read your word, the Bible, I try and read it because that's the thing that actually helps us. So it reminds us about who we are. Then when you go home, you still refresh yourself to talk to you. Even if sometimes parents they talk, you like, you don't know, they're too old, but it doesn't mean, it does not actually mean, but I think they know better, they see better than us, so we should understand that we learn. They actually pass this road, but when I look back, I'm like, okay, when I see some children, we have passed this road, we actually know where we are going to, so we should know that parents, they are smarter, they are more intelligent. So most people don't want to visit their parents, but they don't think they're old school. But everything is not new. Nothing is new under the sun. So that's what it helps me that I know that my parents know what they are doing, and I also remind them and always talk to them. My dad, especially, talk and explain this is what I'm actually going through. Even if sometimes, but most times, even if it might not be only your parents, somebody that you look up to. Someone that you say, okay, I know that she like my sister, and I can tell her things that yes, I know she has been through this. You can tell her, Joy, don't do this, so it's wrong. But you have someone that you can look up to, also to encourage you wisely, not just encourage you the wrong thing, to teach you what you should do. Make sure you always fall back to the word of God. That is very important. Praying every time, because most times you see yourself in some tight situation that you know that it's only God that can help you. Maybe your friends say, you do this thing now. Like one time in school, when I was writing an exam and I didn't have money, I asked, okay, fine, there's no exam period and no money and all those stuff. So I like, okay, fine, I try to manage what I have. My dad didn't still have money to give me money. So there was this latest movie that just came out. My friend said, let us go to school. I was like, we have exam on Monday. And this was a Friday, and this was, don't worry, just once in a while, and I'm going to release that stress. Because I was being pressured by my friends. They said, just go one more, why are you being stingy? I was like, I'm not feeling bad. I'm like, okay, fine. So just 1,000 naira. That 1,000 naira actually saved me for at least for how many days, because it was school now. Thank God I was not the one buying back and also cook, but I was being that my parents said, don't worry, that it's just small money, I should just go, just try and go. Last night I went for the movie and I hated the movie. Like I literally wasted my money. So what? Because of what I was being pressurized by my friends. I guess I had a choice to say no, but the talk was too much. And I wanted, but when they talk, I stopped saying all these things. So most times we should also know who we are. That I said that we should know where we're coming from. Well, I sort of took my stand, but I did it, and it affected me. But I actually hated the movie. But I didn't want to complain because they don't like put a gun on my saying must go. But also have a stand wherever you are.
Okay, coming back to Esther, you know that in life, just like what Joy said, one of the things that I believe that, like we're talking about parents now, if you look back, what have your parents, what foundation have parents laid? Because Joy just mentioned something, you need to follow, bring up a child the way you should go. But many times you are talking to your children and they feel as if you hate them. Where does that one come in? Does it ever cross your mind, these people, they are telling me something I don't understand? Is there anything, does it ever cross mind like that?
When it comes down to parent, I think there are specific approach a parent should use to talk to a child. You can't correct a child using violence. If a parent should sit a child down and talk to the child calmly, there's no way the child will not listen to you. But if you are being hard on the child, like you must do this thing, the child will be like, why must I do it? You want you to tell him why you must do it, and if the reason is not valid enough for him, he will not want to follow what you're saying. So I feel like a parent should just talk calmly to a child. You can't use violence. Okay, even if God says, and the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. There's a lot of approach you can use to talk to a child that doesn't require you using violence. me me personally, you can't shout at me and expect me to do what you want me to do. I will make sure that I will do what will make you angry, because I feel like you should talk to me calmly. You should not shout at me. Okay, I know I did something wrong, but you can just sit me down and say, okay, Esther, see you, this is what you did, this and this. Talk to me and I will calm down. But if you keep shouting at me and you saying you must do this thing like this, I will not do it, because I want you to give me a very good reason why, and if reason is not valid enough, I will not follow what you are saying. That is for me, Sha. But I feel like parents have a big part to play in talking to their children about peer pressure. You don't expect a child to confide in you if you are always being harsh on the child. Like me now, I confide in my parents a lot. We talk, you see, you're talking, you be like, and these people, I didn't brother and sister. We talk like as if we are playing with ourselves, because I'm free. They don't pressure me or make me feel bad for doing. If I do something but I tell them, be like, oh, don't worry, this and that. They look for solutions with me, not that they will start saying, oh, I told you this thing and you still went ahead to do it, oh, and you make the child feel bad, and the child is already feeling bad for what the child has done. So parents should also be open to their children, so the children will be able to talk to them about things. If your parents, I maybe sometimes some parents are too busy for their children, I don't know, so parents have to work on that perspective of their life, like that part. You should always have time for it, no matter how busy you are. You must always have time. Even my parents, I'll call them, my parents call me, how are, even if it's just 2 minutes talk, that 2 minutes is a lot for the child, because everybody know, okay, you are busy, but at least if you show that you care about that and you have time, the child will always want to tell you things about their lives. So parents should have time for their children, no matter how busy you are. Even if it's a text message, can send a message, oh, how are you doing, how is school, and then the child will say, okay, this parent cares for me. Not that you not call the child for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or maybe the child will even come and meet you and you say, I've been busy, I'm trying to make money for your school fees and everything. You're making the child feel, oh, so because of school fees you did not come. The child don't want to tell you things, and maybe you start telling people outside, and you start hearing things about your child outside, and you, the parents, will start feeling bad because you're expecting the child to open up to you, but because of your busy schedule, the child cannot come and meet you and tell you. So parents should also have time for their children.
Okay, now parents should also have time for their children because it helps a lot. I strongly believe that the reason why we are parents is not because we are perfect, it's because we came first. They would have also been our fathers and our mothers too if they were here first before us. So I think that having that understanding, just like what my wonderful guests are saying in the studio, that parents should have time for their children. They should be able to discuss, open up. Both you and your children are not you are not enemies. You should be friends with your children. Now, spare the rod and spare the rod and spoil the child. There is time for everything. There is a time where you have to whip the child. There is a time where you have to drop that whip and discuss with the child, because actually children can actually do things. You heard what Esther said, can do things to get back to you, not because you like it, but because you know you don't like it, but he want to hit back at you and do the wrong thing. Now, what will be talking about prep? We are still looking at peer pressure. Now, as I want to go back to Joy, as a girl, what do you think that a girl child need so that she be able to go through this pressure? What do you think that a girl child need? Because I know there are parents listening to us now. They are thinking, okay, what do I do? Because actually, as a marriage counselor, as somebody that talks to people every day, I see a lot of things that the people that we know here are girls. The people that suffer more are girls. The one that are, although the boys are also under pressure, the pressure is that sometimes one of the pressure that girls go through in campus, like I know, is boyfriend. How do you handle the issue of a boy that wants not just because of a boyfriend, and you can actually have, there's a boy that is your friend, but the person that comes to you and he wants sex? How do you handle such thing?
Okay, with your
Yeah, in school, there are boys that put girls under pressure and say, okay, I want to be your friend and I want sex. I want us to have sex. I want to do this. How do you handle those pressures?
Okay, and what I feel is that you're supposed to tell the person this is what I, it's the relationship we have is based on this and that. So I think you should discuss with the guy, and the guy does not want to agree. I think you should just let the relationship go. There's some relationship that are not meant for you, so you should just allow it to just go and let it go. Because if you have a plan, you should have your own stand in your own relationship. You cannot allow the boy to push you like that, and it's wrong, because it will actually make you do what you know what to do. You make you very angry, and later the guy will not still leave you last. So you should just have like tell the guy this is what I want. If you're not ready to cope, you can walk away.
Okay. Now that means what I understood by what you have said is vision that give your life push. Vision. Because if you don't have vision, you think that, oh, I want to do what other people are doing. And in life, there is a kind of, I want to belong to this clique. Oh, like, you know, those days you have children say, I won't play with you again. Did that happen to you, Esther? I won't play with you again. Eh? How do you handle such things? These are pressure now. They are peer pressure. Said, okay, if you don't do this, I won't play with you again. And you will not be there wanting them to. How do you handle such pressure?
Me personally, they know me in my school that I don't care. I don't care. If so you not play with me again, that one is your own business. Because if I look like I did not do anything wrong and you're angry because I did not follow you somewhere or I did not help you with this one, then that's your own problem. You should not put your own problem on top of my own head. Not play with me again. Okay, fine. There are other people out there that can even, maybe God is even trying to take you away from me to bring someone better into my life. You may not know. But if you're talking about boyfriend and all that,
How do you
before I make anybody my friend, I must look at your lifestyle first. You cannot dress like a mad person and come and approach me. I will not even answer you. You will do dread, paint your nails, do whatever on your face. You have tattoos, and you come and approach me that, oh, I want us to date. Okay, okay. If I look at you, I'll be like, this boy can slap me. I've thought about a lot of things in my mind first. I'll be like, this boy, the way he's dressing, can I bring him to my father? I know my father. First things first. My father will kick both of us out of the house. So I cannot even go to that side. I cannot even think about it. So and I cannot say he will change. There's no way he will change. If you cannot change now, you cannot change later when we are dating. You have to change now or you don't change at all. And some people go into relationship because of what they are gaining from the person. Maybe because of money, he's buying you clothes, buying you the latest shoes, buying you laptop. You will not want to, even if it's maltreating you, will stay there because of what you are getting from the relationship. And your friends will say, he will change now, and she just slapped you today. He just slapped you once. Tomorrow maybe he will not slap you again. Some friends are like that. They will say, continue. He's giving you this, and I see the shooting, you're very nice, but you want to stop enjoying all these things. And I have friends like that, but I just looking at them like, so this boy will slap you and blow you, and you say, I love him. What kind of love is that?
Love
I say, if he slap you, he will kick you the next. I tell my friends that anybody that is maltreating you, don't become a complaint to me, because I'll tell you that I've already told you before that if this boy slap you, the next time he's going to do something that you cannot even imagine to you again, because you cannot say this boy loves me and he keeps slapping you, beating you. If any small thing, he will just raise his hand on you and you say you love me, and you don't have friends that can tell you that, okay, this is what you're not supposed to do this. And my own kind of advice, I'm a very blunt person. I will tell you the way it is. I will not say because I want to make you feel good, I will not hide something. So I will tell you that, okay, babe, see this thing, oh, this is how it is, oh. And you'll be like, Esther, and you are too blunt. I say, what do you want? So that you not come and say I did not tell you, not come and say I did not tell you later. So I'm telling you now that either you break up with this boy or you face it with your own head.
Now, what is evil of relationship in school? What is all about this relationship in school?
In my own school, relationship in my school is that this boy will buy me food. Because there's no money. And the food is expensive in school. So if there's a boy that constantly keeps buying you food every day, then let's go and buy food. You want to continue eating from the boy's hand now, and then that's very problem. Like, boy now say, okay, I've been buying food for you, yeah, now let's go and lodge in a hotel just one day. It's not, and you now you feel like, this is why I've been buying me food though. Let me just I'm owing you, sure you understand. So to avoid
indebtedness is there.
Exactly. So just avoid situations like that. If you want to say thank you, there's no, but if he buys you food once and you want to keep buying it for you, just say thank you. That's one gesture was enough. You don't need to continue buying food for me every time, because food is one of the main factors that get put
But is it
relationship in
that
school.
the money that they get is not enough? Because I strongly believe, we're sharing something about contentment. Nothing, no amount of money will be enough. If you cannot manage little, and those are the things that I will want you to go, I want to share in the studio now. Now you just talked about food. That means there are need. Now I believe that once you are in school, your parents gives you money. It's when you begin to look at other people, that is where the problem starts. But if you look at what you have, be content with such as you have. If you are content with such as you have, you will not fall in, because these are the pressure. Truly, anybody you keep on collecting something from, we talked about that. When you keep on collecting something from somebody, when the person now asks you, you can't say no. So how do you now? I think it's because somebody have developed wrong appetite. I believe that, you see, even though it's gari you have and you drink in school, nobody will know what you are taking, and no amount of money is enough. If you begin to teach yourself, this body is like an elastic. What you teach the body, that's what they get used to. Now if you teach your body I must eat 4 times a day, the body start blowing, because fat is food. Now, but learning to be content with such as you have, knowing that life is time and season. I've always been talking about take your time. Take your time is not an insult. Know where you are and why you are there. Now, in this kind of case, don't the girls have some money with them?
And they have boys. I mean, the Odu Kokoro.
Oju kokoro, big eye.
In my school, there are different cafeterias now.
Okay.
Different price.
Okay.
There's food you can get for 1.5, 1.8, 1.2, and those ones, they are nice food, not like all this local rice you eat in another restaurant. So when the boy say let's go and eat chicken and chips in the other restaurant, you carry your leg and follow the boy. In the morning he call you to go and eat food, you go. In the evening he call you to go and eat food, you go. The next day, maybe for the next 1 week. And boys, I don't know how they plan, but they have their own strategy on how to get girls. And if you keep showing them that you're a glutton, you like food, they will use the food to entice you. But for me, if you buy me food once and you not come and be saying, oh, I said, do you want me to buy the food back for you? Since it's because of food that you think that you can come and carry me to hotel. I said, me self, why would I go to hotel? What am I looking for in that place? I have bed in my room, I have water, I have toilet, I have everything. So what is in the hotel? I will not follow you. And funny enough, people are seeing you in school. There are actually people that are watching you in school to know that they want you to flop, so that they will say, I said it. So if you now follow pressure, then you now have to prove them right that what they said is true about you. So when you think about people that want to even bring you down, you will not even allow pressure to even reach your side. When you see that this person is always saying things about you, that this girl is this, so she used to follow men up and down, this and that, then I see you going to hotel. Even though you're not even going there to meet a man, you're proving them right that what they said about you is true. So if you want to follow pressure, most of my friends, they go out. There was one day in school, they were like, after exam, they were like, Esther, let's go out now, you're always inside. My mind did not want to go. I said, I'm not going. They were like, Esther, you're too distant, let's go out now. I said my mind is not even going with it at all, that I'm not going. They're like, that every time I'm always not going out, that how would I get boyfriend like this? I said, even a person where they find boyfriend, they see boyfriend. I said, I know they find. They say, Esther, and they begged me for 2 days. I said I was not going anywhere. And the person wanted to go towards an hotel, like the hotel in my school, my dad, that you've seen the place before. It's the place they wanted us to go to, that big place that almost every people that come there, say old men, and they will not come and be toasting you and be saying, give me your number, I'll buy you this, I'll buy you that. And if you don't have direction now, you follow them because of what they say they will get for you. So I didn't go. And my friends, some of them did not talk to me for like days. That me, I spoiled their plan. And they planned that some guys will come and take them out and buy them food and do this. I said, I'm not interested in going. My mind did not go with it at all. So you cannot force me to do what I don't want to. That's why I said that you must have your own free will. You must have your own mind. Because if you don't have your own mind, you do a lot of things that you don't even want to do. Something that you don't plan at all.
So the truth of it is interest that introduces you to such things. So to be mindless is to be worthless. I want to take to you parents, the truth of it is that we need to help our children. In the world that we are living in today, there are so many things you can hear from them straight and direct, that the pressure is all about buying food. I want to say no amount is enough, but you as a young person, delay gratification. Whatever somebody is using to entice you today, you will have 10,000 of it tomorrow. And everything in life is time. The difference between you and somebody is time. And as somebody that have seen life, I've seen that so many young ladies, young boys I used to hear about in school, they are the happening ones. When they leave school, you don't see them anymore. You don't even hear about them. Why? They finish everything they have even before they left school. School is only an introduction. It's not a permanent place. Go to school to learn. Leave those. Life is not competition. Whatever dress that is raining today, in another few months time, another one will rain. You know, the only time that you are beautiful is when you are in the mirror. When you get to bus stop, somebody is more dressed, somebody is more beautiful, and your beauty is just you. It's personal. Nobody is like you anywhere in the world. You need to appreciate who you are. You need to appreciate what you have. You need to appreciate that God factor. I strongly believe it's not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of God in our life. When we are able to teach our children, lay a solid foundation for them, they can have a brighter future and they can have a better life. I strongly believe that as parents, we need to do our homework. Talk to your children. Be friendly with your children. Communicate with them. Tell them you failed. If you are a mother, you have committed abortion, tell them, I aborted the baby because I made a mistake, and because of the mistake I make, this is my consequence. It's just the grace of God that have kept me. Don't fall into those mistakes, so that when they are under pressure, they can relate to it. Some parents, you are always first in class. You never fail. Always first. Then you are lying, because you see, you need to tell them how you went through this pressure. You know, once upon a time, I've told my children this at home. I have a very strong sexual urge, and that is why when Joe was talking, it's vision that keeps you. I have a very strong sexual urge. I wanted to have sex, and I was just 16 years old. Then I began to ask myself, I was 16, 17. I began to tell myself, but I remember I was already born again then. I was a Christian, but I know that fornication was against God's plan for my life. It's not God's will for you to go into fornication, because your life might become funny because you just attended a funny occasion. Occasion you never invited is always funny. Then I told myself that this thing is wrong, because by God's standard, it is wrong. As a child of God, it's not the thing. You know what I do? I took a biro and paper. I begin to write, when can I when can I be fulfilled with my sexual urge? You know, I wrote down, and when I begin to write from that 1985, 84, I wrote down, I got to 1997. By my plan, by the things I have in mind, I got to 1997. That was when I'll be qualified to have sex. That was when I'll be married. Do you know what? That was how the sexual urge left me. If you have a vision and you know where you are going, and if you know where you are going, you don't ask questions. Nobody can make you do things without, first of all, your interest. And I believe as parents, we need to teach our children. We need to be friendly with our children. We need to talk with them when we get up. We need to talk to them when we drive. We need to make example and tell them about life, because there is nothing new. And when they can trust you, you can relate, you can talk. No matter the pressure that come on them, they will be able to resist that pressure. You know, devil uses men. God uses men. And it can be somebody that the devil is using. And the reason why I'm so particular about the girl child is that when you look at this mistake that come, the person that suffer more is the girl child. Is the girl child that did abortion. Is the girl child that her womb will be tampered with. Is the girl child that suffer all the consequences. Is the girl child that will take that baby for 9 months. Is the girl child that become a baby mama. There is no baby papa anywhere, but there are baby mama everywhere. But somebody put them on that direction. And I want to let you know, as parents, because we need to take our responsibility, because irresponsibility bring all of those things where you can't even put a call through. You don't know how to communicate with your girl child. You don't know how to communicate with your son, to let your son know that, hey, I remember, you know what happened many years ago. I remember one of my junior brother was smoking weed. He smoked this weed, and the guy was misbehaving. I thought it was a spiritual problem. So I prayed. Then after I went to meet him, I asked him. The guy was lying to me, and somebody now told me that they caught him smoking weed. Do you know, I went back to my dad. I sat my dad down. I asked him, have you ever smoked weed before? My father said yes, he smoked weed, and the thing almost make him run mad. I said, your son is reproducing, you have reproduced your kind. That guy is smoking weed. And I want to let you know, the DNA is also talking about when we talk about the evil spirit or whatever, the reoccurrence. The DNA, that your DNA is in your children. And no matter what you have trials you have gone through before, you need to know your family background. I remember I've discussed that with my daughter over the years. I've told her, listen, in your family, the women don't do this. The women, they go to this and this their limit. I say, see, let me tell you, daughter, you need to break it. You need to break it. Because if you continue in this pattern, what happened to them? Because the devil said, I will return. In the book of Matthew, he said, I will return. Some of you have evil pattern in your family. Now, your children must not repeat those evil patterns. You find out that it's very easy for somebody to get into evil pattern in a family. Now, you need to understand your family, study your family, and know what are the reoccurrence, evil pattern in your family. Teach your children. Tell them know that this is the thing that have been happening. In fact, there are families that they never stay in their husband's house. There are families that the girl child always have issue. And if you know it, information is the basis of transformation. If you know it and you begin to tell your children, see, yes, we are Christian, yes, we are prayed. Prayer without work is dead. There need to be a prayer, there need to be work, there need to be understanding. It's very important so that we can raise children that will give us rest in our old age. Nothing is as wicked as a man. You know, you have your daughter go to school only for her to come back and bring babies. There's time for everything. There's time she will be married. If it's sex, tell your children, sex is good, sex is God's idea, but there is a place to use it. There is a time to use it. And many parents don't talk about it. You have somebody else that will now go and teach your children in the wrong way. You need to talk about it. You need to talk about sex. You need to talk about pressure. You need to talk about the thing that is happening around you, because you have also gone through it. I've gone through it. And one of the things that I made up my mind, I don't care. Life is not competition. I am not here to please you. You are the last person I want to please. I love myself and enjoy myself. I like what I have. I'm content with what I have. I'm satisfied with what I have. I love me. Because until I love me, I can't love you, because the word of God said, love your neighbor as yourself. I cannot make you happy and myself sad. I use what I have. I love what I have. What I have is the best. What you have, thank you for what you have. But leave me alone. I love me. And it's very important for you to teach your children, celebrate yourself, love yourself. You are not alive to make other people happy. Somebody say, I won't play with you again. Stay on your own. Mind your business, not an insult. It's a way of life. Simply mean mind your business. If you want to know, understand it by minor, go to Jaws. You see men that mind, they always bring something out of the ground. Mind your business. Life is not competition. You are not in school to make somebody happy. Whatever your parents have given to you, and parents, let your children know. Yes, there are people that get pocket money. Parents, they have money, not because they are still their parents are criminals, but because they have it. And you don't have problem with somebody having money. They have it. And because they have money, and they could give their children more than enough. So if your parent, if you are giving your daughter 20,000 month, or you are giving her 30,000, or you are giving her 15,000, yes. But somebody else is giving her daughter 100,000. That's no problem. You see, every one of you go to market. Now you don't need to. The one that is giving 100,000, go to that restaurant you're talking about, is being able to buy chicken and eat 1,800. But if you can't go to that place, don't begin to have sleepless night. Go to the booker. Go and buy rice. Listen to me. It is not what you are eating that eats you up in life. It is your innermost pattern of life that eats you up. It's not much of what you eat. It's what is eating you. What is running your mind. I strongly believe that we parents have to do a lot of work to help our children, because there is nothing new. Now, Joy, what will you have? What, haven't gone through? I know I love you, good girl. Now, listen, the reason why you see, like, haven't gone through all this part of time of your life. Now, very soon, by the grace of God, you also be a parent. You also have your own children. Now, what will you advise parents that they should do to help their, whether boy child or girl child, with the best way? Because you see, there's always a better way of doing the same thing. What will you advise from your own, from the experience you have gotten?
I feel they should have a good communication with their children. Like their relationship should be mutual. Like should express it. You shouldn't hide anything. Like what you said, tell them this is what you're supposed to do, and this is what you're supposed to do. Tell them the right thing to do. Like just be playing with them, be free with them. Like most time people, parents only they say if your children come to confide in you now, and you're scared, and your children are actually scared of what you're doing, so don't react and make them to run away, because that is the reaction that makes children to actually run away. Like what Esther said, like once you tell them, okay, tell them this is what you did, like maybe this is what happened back to you those days. Doesn't mean that you should after you tell them that okay, this is wrong, this is that, you point fingers at them and make them feel ashamed of themselves. Next time they will not actually want to like come back again. So you actually like tell them that okay, fine, this you are supposed to do this, but don't actually don't actually like tell them okay, don't make them feel guilty. Like because they actually when they come to you, they're actually guilty already. They feel the full like what my parents say, but see they're just coming to you, you know that you have to like talk to them, you have to tell them what to do. Have a good relationship, have be free with them. Don't judge them. When you point them, when you judge them, they feel so bad, and they will naturally run to another wrong hand. So you should also help them to like okay, this is what to do, don't do this again. Tell them what to do, communicate with them, tell them the scriptures. Like what my dad always do, if I do something wrong, he say, sit me down and tell me this is the only thing that he has, even if it's not there, to go back to the scriptures, read the scripture, read proverb. It will actually help you when to go. Like my dad always said, read this proverb, read these things that will make you, in case I'm not there, you can always fall back to it. So tell them, be free with them, tell them that okay, this is not what you're supposed to do. But don't just scold them and shout on them, because if you shout on any child, trust me, they'll always run back to their shell and will not come back to you again.
Okay, that's your advice for parents. Don't shout on any child. And I believe that one of the greatest things we can do as parents is to relinquish ourselves. Always know that we are not going to be here forever. We should learn to teach our children the foundation in which they themselves can stand with or without you. And that foundation is God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Like I often tell my children, I might not be able to give you everything, but I give you the word of God. That's a guide for a lifetime. Hello, baby girl. Now, what will you be able to tell parents? What can they do to be able to help their children? Because this pressure is real. Peer pressure in the restaurant, peer pressure when you want to sleep, peer pressure in dressing. There is always pressure. And there is no wonder there is what is called pressure cooker. You can cook a lot of things. Pressure can cook a lot of things. You know, they use pressure cooker to cook cow leg, have it? They make it make it down. Okay. Now, what would be advice that you can, one of these, I probably believe you are a nice girl. I probably believe that, you get married, you have your children, and all of those stuff. What will you advise parents that they can do to help their children to be able to come back to them, or they can help their children to bring out the best in them?
And just like Joy said, and communication is a very good approach to your children. And I also feel like if your child comes to tell you something and you've gone through that thing before, sharing your own experience with the child and how you overcame that situation will also help that child. Let the child know that this thing is not a new thing. My parents have gone through it before, so it's not like a new thing. The child will be so you even want to know how you handled your own. So you guys can now start conversating like that. So I think that's also a very good approach. And I also feel like if you're setting things that your child wants, you should be able to provide for the child. You shouldn't expect the child to get it from somewhere else. But if you know that thing that your child wants, the child does not need it like at all, then you should be able to tell the child that okay, wait, when it's time, I'll get it for you myself. So the child will not start looking for other means to get it for themselves. But if it's like a basic need that the child says, okay, I want this shoe, I want this clothes, I want this. If not, you can get it for your child, you should get it for that child and not expect the child to look for other means to get it. It's not that you say, I don't have money to get this one for you now, and the child is saying, Mommy, I want this, and you in your mind, you know that this child really needs this thing. But you should not say, okay, I want to deprive him, it's not his time yet. There are some things that you should be able to provide for your child without saying, oh, the child is not going to need it now or not. You should be able to provide some basic things for your child.
Like what do you mean by basic needs?
Like let's say for university now, you should be able to give the child money. Like you should calculate and say, okay, from this from this month, this money should be able to cover the child's feeding. That's if you're in a school that they don't cook. You should say, okay, this money I'm giving the child to be able to cover. And if the child calls and say, Mom, my money has finished, though I need so and so money, you should be able to at least send something to the child. So the child will not start looking for other means to go and get the money. So maybe the child will ask my friend. That's when stuff like, oh, you want to know how I got my own money? Sure, you follow me to this place so that I'll give you the money. Sure, you understand? When friends now start saying, let me show you how I got my own money. So if a child calls and say, mommy, dad, my money has finished, so I'm not able to eat in school, I need so maybe you don't have that money, but you can say, okay, I'll send you something that you can use to manage yourself before the next month, and I'll send you the allowance. So I think that will also help the child to avoid peer pressure.
So not be able to meet the children's needs can actually, yes, it's true, but the truth of it that children should also learn to manage what we are giving, because truly no amount of money is enough. Let me give you an example. Do you know there are some girls in school, also boys in school, they have big television screen, they have fridge, they have everything that even workers don't have. Now, is it that the parents, is not, because it's what you call oju kokoro, big eye, and low eye, not be open eye, the thing go enter. Big eye that causes it. When you are not content with such as you have, it will create problem for you. So I will also advise young ladies, be content with such as you have. Always know why you are where you are. There is time for everything. As for your sexuality, is a gift from God, but the way you use it is a gift to you. How do you manage a gift that God has given to you? And you need to learn to use it properly, so that at the end of the day, those things that you think you are calling enjoyment will not become those things that will destroy you and bring you down. In life, there is time for everything, and there are laws that we must not break. There are laws that you must not break. For example, your parents tell you a thing, don't push it aside. And parents, we just having this conversation this morning gives me joy. I have also learned something from my conversation with these beautiful young ladies in the studio with me this morning. And what have I learned? I've learned that communication is the thing that open up for the child and parent to be able to express themselves. There are some parents, you have never failed before. You don't tell your children you fail. You have always been this, and anytime the result they bring, you don't appreciate them. It doesn't matter. Let's learn to reward our children for doing the right thing. Sometimes, my children come back from school, and I will gather all of them. I'll say, thank you because nobody invited me to police station. Thank you because nobody called me for this or that. Now, just doing that, we encourage them to live a better life. There is time for everything. Young ladies, have that at the back of your mind. There's nothing that is happening today that you cannot get. Is there a house? Is there a car? Whatever. Because everything, all the good things of life is free. Whatever you are trusting God for, you will arrive there. Time will come. You are no longer a copper. You'll be earning. Because you see, you must understand, like I've often told you, there are learning stage, there are what? Earning stage. Where are you now? You are in your learning stage. And if you learn well. Young ladies, young boys, listen to this. You learn. And once you finish learning, from that age 24, you get to 20, by the time you get to a 24, a 25, then you will get into your earning stage. And there you start your own family. Then you move on. And it makes you, as somebody that is prepared for life, it also makes you want to get into this marriage early, so you can both enjoy your man and enjoy your woman according to God's plan. Don't be in haste. If you are in haste, you might not arrive at your destination. You know what I find out in life, young ladies? The shortest cut in life is the longest road in life. The shortcut in life is the longest road in life. There is this girl that the father left the city where he was staying. The father went out. So we don't tell our children, we tell our children, do what I do, not just what I say. This man, he went out and he got to another city. He told his boys he need a girl. Now that he want to sleep with a girl. So they now went outside. And guess who they brought? They brought his daughter. And the man did not know it was his daughter. He was inside the room. When the man came, he was shouting, "What are you doing there?" The girl also said, "What are you doing here?" You know, and that's a disgrace. Let us learn to do the right thing. Not just as parents, not just do what I say. You must do what you are asking them to do. Be a better example. I believe that the greatest joy a father will have is to see the daughter or the son do the right thing. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you girls in the studio this morning for the time that you have spent in this world and the thing that you are able to achieve in your young age. I want to say, God bless you.
Amen.
Men and women will celebrate you.
Amen.
The best is yet to come. And if you've been following us, maybe you are watching us live on the television, or you are on Facebook, you are watching us. I want you to know, because this is being connected live, I want you to know that God has a plan, and the plan of God concerning your life will not be aborted.
Amen.
There is a greater future awaiting you. Just learn to follow your time, and you shine your shine, I shine my shine. And life is not competition. Learn to enjoy yourself, enjoy your youth, and remember your Creator while you are young, for a time is coming where you will no longer be able to go back to that place. I want to say thank you very much for coming, and I want to have you back one of these days again. You come back again, we are going to be talking, and I want to talk to you. Joy, thank you very much for being my guest today. I'm so joyful to have you in the studio. Thank you. Now, I want to tell you, viewers, we have this program that is coming up in Irene Center. Irene Center is in Abuja, in Yanya, and our address is at Mopo Junction, beside I have the UBA Bank and the Veterinary Road. Irene Center, it's a very big place. Irene Center, we have creche, we have nursery school, we have primary school, we have secondary school. We also have a fellowship center. We have a jam center in that same place. We are trusting God. Very soon the computers will be trusting God for the computers to come in. And we also have a marriage academy. I and my wife, for the past 25 years, God has been dealing with us on issues of family and family, building families. And I want to let you know, we have a marriage school. And what do we do in the marriage school? In the marriage school, we call it Marriage Academy. We have counselors that have been married for 40, 42 years, 37 years. We have great people, great minds that have raised children, that have also lived a life that is worth emulating. It's very important today that we celebrate those that are married fail. What about those that are married succeed? So in Marriage Academy, we learn things you need to know before you say I do, and how to marry properly. And what are the things you need to know? These are the things we teach in Marriage Academy is worth attending. Who are those that are qualified to attend Marriage Academy? If you are a young man, a young girl, you need to get information. Then if you are engaged, you need to get information. You want to marry, you need to take a course. We have 3 weeks course for those that want to marry, but you can break it down. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday is our counseling time, starting from 12 o'clock till 4 o'clock, Friday, Saturday. Then on Sunday, we have service. We also have a church in that place called New World Assembly or New World Ministry. It's in that same race center. It's a one-stop place that we have all these things going on. But there is a great information I want to share with you today. We are having this program in the month of November. The program is called None Shall Be Barren. I've never seen a goat that could not have a child, but what is happening to human? Why is it that human, a lot of us, are having issue with childbearing? Many times it's not the devil, it's ignorance that have caused this problem. So we need to get information. I work with obstetrics and gynecologists, the professionals on human reproductive medicine. I've worked with them for the past 15 years, and I've seen God use them to bring information that will bring about liberation. So this program is on the 12th to 14th of November. Make it a date with us, and you can communicate with us. Our phone numbers are on the screen. You can call me and my helper, and what are information that you are going to get. So make it a date with us. November 12th, 13th, 14th is a date you will never want to miss. We are having a human reproductive medicine, the biologists, all of them coming together, and we are going to have sessions where they will screen people and tell you the reason what is happening to you. I believe that with these few points of mind that I've shared with you today, I know that I have not confused you, but I've convinced you that serving God and standing by your family and doing the right thing will bring about prosperity. Until I see you again in our next edition, this is Simon and Semota, also known as Family Man and the Helper, saying we love you and God bless you. Bye bye. Thank you.
I have a message for you.